You also made a conscious decision not to use celebrities or too many other artists talking about her impact on them. I guess that could go on forever, right? I mean, if how would you even limit that? But
It's true. That was a huge decision in the filmmaking. Mary and Maeve can say a little bit more about it, but we did want, in some ways, it really is a family story. And then because we also set out to, in whatever ways we wanted it to be an immersive story, we wanted it to be intimate. It really is kind of Joan's story in a way that she hasn't told it before. That we wanted to keep it as authentic as we could. So those people who appear in the film are kind of make sense. They have a place in the film, but we didn't think famous people talking about Joan would necessarily, kind of bring anything to it that didn't have a place and it would take you out of the story in some way. Is that right?
I was going to just, yeah, you said it all really. I mean, I just think that the problem with someone like a talking head of like a famous person who's kind of chiming in about her incredible musicality or whatever, it would absolutely take you out. It was just, there was an intimacy and a closeness, and it was a family story. So, we wanted it to be immersive, and if you did the other way, it would take you out. It just would, I think, and it didn't feel right to us, even just instinctively, I think, from early on.
Yeah, I think we also always talked about it as a kind of visual memoir. So
Yeah.
her telling her story, what she remembered, how she saw herself, so the combination of that. And we struggled. We were like, can you only have Joan's voice? Can you just have a 1960s Joan and a 2023 Joan, or whatever along the way? And it was we weren't sure. And so it was, I think, was part of the reason why her archive ended up being so important, because it was almost like these different people handing, it was all Joan, but, taking you through her life as she went through it. So I think.
But also the kind of dig into memory as well was really crucial. And because we had different voices of family members and so on, you definitely had the layers of memory and the kind of questions around those kinds of things. So it wasn't just Joan, it was also kind of giving context with family members, also kind of giving their say. What were you going to say, Mary?
Just going to say, but it was not easy. Like a million times. Like, if only we had a talking head to just say this, or what happened in Vietnam and what Joan's position, it was very, very hard to make a cohesive story with fragments like that. That was both not an editing challenge and a interviewing challenge and a archival challenge. So.
But in the end, I think, you see Joan and Dylan, for example, together at that footage of those two at that moment. I mean, I don't think you'd ever you don't need Dylan talking about Joan now. You don't need, you just see it all there. Or David Harris when he's about to be arrested and going at those moments, or Joan with Dr. King. It just seemed like if we could find a way to let it speak for itself, that it might, be worth the struggle.
Yeah, and we wanted you to feel like you were there, kind of much more, that you were kind of witnessing it almost as it happened. We were trying to get rid of that feeling of hindsight or looking back, people saying, "Oh, I remember when." We were definitely going for a different aesthetic for sure. So,
so that said, there is one name, an executive producer whose name popped up immediately when I'm looking. How did Patti Smith get involved with this project, and what was her input?
Patti Smith and Joan are great pals. They've been friends for a long time. Joan was an important and is influence, I think, in Patti's life. She's younger. And we, late in the process, asked if Patti would step on as an executive producer and to kind of help launch it into the world. And she didn't hesitate. She was there in a beat, and has been a great champion and great pal. Joan's forever, and wanted to do whatever she could do to get this film out in the world. So she's just that kind of person.
That's fabulous. Did she have any creative? She had nothing to do with the creative process.
No. She's obviously a part of the promotion and getting the film out in the world. She will be with Joan in November for for things targeted around the film. And so no, she's more of she wasn't in the early stage of it, and now is mainly a champion of the film, and has seen it obviously and been a part of it in that way, and knows how important this film is to Joan as well, and why she's done it at this point in her life. So that in particular, I think she wanted to do whatever she could do to kind of help get it out there.
That's awesome. And it's already been recognized by the Berlin and Nashville film festivals. So congratulations on